Welcome to the beginning of my Crash Bandicoot adventure on the PS1. I'm jumping back into one of the most iconic PS1 platformers ever made. Whether you're here for nostalgia or discovering Crash's first adventure for the very first time, you're in for an action-packed ride. So at this point I'm going to be going ahead and showing the intro to the game. And to see the intro you have to wait at the title screen long enough for it to appear. And I went ahead and edited out the time where I waited at the title screen for it to appear. And I'm going to be showing it without commentary. And I feel like the intro doesn't show much the storyline for the game, so to see the storyline of this game you'll have to read the manual for this game, and I do own the manual of this game. And at least right now I'm not going to be telling you the storyline as told in the manual. So at this point the intro's going to play, which I'm going to be showing now.
But Dr. Cortex, we have not determined the cause of past failures.
Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general, and he will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time I shall reign triumphant. We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex!
But Dr. Cortex, the vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do.
Failure again. Capture him!
Uh-oh.
Prepare the female bandit.
So I start the game off on the first island, and there are 3 different islands in this game, and this is different from the sequels to this game, where there are 5 different warp rooms, and you can pick which level you want to tackle first. But in this game you have to go through the levels in a linear order, and you can't choose which level you want to go to first. And we start off the game in Sanity Beach. And this is a rather short level that's just there for you to get used to the controls of the game. And in this game, Crash can jump, and he can spin, and those are the only moves that he has. In Crash 2 and Crash 3, they would add different other moves that he can perform. And in this first level, there are crabs, and crabs are just enemies that move back and forth, and they're there for you to get used to the controls of the game. And there are also turtles which simply move back and forth as well. Now right now I have Aku Aku, the name of the mask that's following me, and he's named Aku Aku in Crash 2 and Crash 3 in later games, but in the manual for the first game he's just called the Witch Doctor. And what he does is that he protects Crash from losing a life in a single hit. When Crash is just by himself, he loses a life in a single hit. And when you break a box with Aku Aku's mask on it, he'll start following you and protect you from a single hit. That is, when you get hit, Aku Aku will stop following you and you have to break a box with him in it in order to start to get him to follow you again. And if you break a box and collect him when you already have him following you, he'll turn gold, which means he'll protect you from another hit. And when you get hit, he'll turn brown and go back to his regular form. And if you collect him again when he's gold, then he'll go into this invincibility form like you're seeing here. And this will protect you from all damage. And everything except things that would make you lose life instantly, like falling into a pit or water or something like that. And the thing is that when you're invincible, I hesitated there before grabbing one of the masks. And the reason I did this was that so that I wouldn't waste the mask. Because if you grab a mask when you're invincible, then it'll simply disappear and not do anything. So I wait until the invincibility wears out and degrade back to the gold mask form, and then I go ahead and collect it again. Wait a bit, then collect it again in order to get back invincibility, so I can go through the rest of the section for a while with invincibility on my character. Here I beat the second level, and if you beat a level without dying past the first checkpoint, then you get a scene where it shows all the boxes that you missed being broken on Crash's head. They fall on Crash's head. And I edited out all the times where this scene plays except for the first time so you can see what it looks like. And these scenes can be pretty lengthy, so I save a significant amount of time by editing them out. And if you break all the boxes in a level and complete a level, then you get a gem. And sometimes you'll have to get a colored gem and then go back to a level in order to complete the level fully with breaking all the boxes. And breaking all the boxes and getting all the gems and going through a level is how you getting all the gems at the end and going through the game is how you 100% complete the game. And I go ahead and skip the 100% ending and just go for the regular ending, which involves just completing the levels and going through the game and going through the regular non-secret levels, which I'll talk about later, and battling Cortex and seeing the regular ending, which you don't actually battle Cortex in the 100% ending. And I complete this game in one sitting, so I skip the Tawna bonus rounds that you can get into by collecting 3 of Tawna's face icons. And to do this, to skip the bonus rounds easily, I go ahead and spin away Tawna's face icons when they show up, or just avoid them entirely. And I'll know that Tawna's face icons are likely to show up if I see a question mark on a box, like there, for instance. Right now we have the first of the boulder chase levels, and for these levels the boulder will make you lose life instantly if it crushes you. And other than that, you can lose life by falling down pits. Otherwise, they're just obstacles that slow you down, like these wooden planks. And the boulder moves pretty fast, so you want to be pretty careful about turning, making sure only to turn when it's necessary, as that slows you down. And also to just keep a good pace and not slow down too much at all. And also notably, when you're going for all the boxes, the boulder won't break the boxes like it does in Crash 2. So in Crash 1, it's a much more difficult game to get 100% overall, at least from what I've heard and what it seems like to me compared to Crash 2 and Crash 3, because of the fact that the checkpoints don't save your boxes when you break them, and you have to beat the whole level without dying past the first checkpoint. Whereas in Crash 2 and Crash 3, you can lose lives past the first checkpoint, and it'll save your crates and you can still get the gem at the end. Now with the Tawna face icons, sometimes I spin the face icons in order to get them out of the way. And you can spin items and this will get rid of them. And you generally don't want to do this, but if there's something that you don't want, like a Tawna face icon, you could go ahead and spin it to get it out of the way. But this can happen with extra lives, and also I'm pretty sure it can happen with Aku Aku's masks. With the Aku Aku, the masks, so you want to be careful when you're spinning. When there's a bunch of crates around, or a bunch of extra lives around. Now those yellow gems back there were an example of a place where you'd have to have a certain colored gem. The yellow gem, I think, in order to make those bigger platforms so you can stand on them in order to break more boxes in order to fully complete the level. Here we are at the first boss of the game, Papu Papu. And Papu Papu is the first boss, and he's a rather easy boss. When I bounce on him, I try and go at him from the side, because if I try and go at him from different angles, sometimes I can get hurt, you know? I feel like, I'm pretty sure, so I just go ahead and follow a certain pattern and jump at him from the side. He'll swing his stick 2 times after he's attacked, and then the first time, and then after he's attacked the second time, he'll swing his stick 3 times and then try and attack you. So I just follow the pattern and hit him 3 times and then move on to the next level. the bosses in this game in general are probably the easiest part of the game, except for the earliest levels. Whereas levels like this can be quite difficult for being early on. Now with that Venus flytrap, if you spin an enemy and it moves forward, it can break boxes. And I want to go ahead and spin that enemy and make sure I'm moving forward the whole time, so that I spin that enemy into that box and break it, so I get Aku Aku upgraded, or get Aku Aku if I don't have it. Although if I'm doing well at this point, I should already have Aku Aku, and I'll just need the him upgraded. If you're a little bit off to the side, then it won't break the box, and you won't be able to easily get Aku Aku upgraded. Or if you've taken a hit, then get Aku Aku back. This level can be tricky, I feel like, with the 3D movement to try to land on the moving platforms as they go around and trying to keep track of them and avoiding the rolling stones or the rolling stone wheels. And you want to try as much as possible to move straight forward and align yourself so you won't have to do much diagonal movement. Because keep in mind in this game is that you can't use the analog stick, because the PlayStation controllers at the time didn't start out with analog sticks. They weren't invented until a little bit later on. So Crash 1, even if you try to use the analog sticks and set it to analog mode, it won't work. The game just simply wasn't designed with analog movement in mind. And for the most part, I don't think this is a problem, except in certain scenarios like that. Because of the way the game is designed, with its linearity and 3D movement being confined to a hallway-like structure, basically. Right now I'm entering Hog Wild, which is the first of 2 hog riding levels, and the only one that is required to complete the game. The other one is a secret level that you have to unlock by getting the key in another level, which I'll talk about later. Now in this level, every obstacle can make you lose life instantly, so you want to be pretty careful. And I feel like it's generally straightforward up until the end, where you don't want to be hugging the right wall. If you jump and hug the right wall, then you'll hit the like pillar up above, and then you won't make it above the spike pillar and you'll lose a life. So you want to be a good ways away in the middle of the area, make the last 2 jumps, and then go ahead and hug the right wall in order to make it past the guy. It looks like you won't make it, but you always make it if you do that. Here we are at the final level of the first island, Native Fortress. And in this level, it's a more difficult version of the Great Gate, and there are many types of obstacles here. And in this game, in the first island, there are 9 levels, and this is quite different from Crash 2 and Crash 3, which only have 5 levels in each warp room. But in this game, there can be more than 5 levels on an island. Actually, there are always more than 5 levels on an island. And I think there are a little bit more than 25 levels in the game as well that you're required to go through. So there's quite a bit of different level structure here compared to Crash 2 and Crash 3. There are many different types of obstacles here, and when you have invincibility masks, some of them can push you up in the air, and some of them you can't go through. So know about the spike pillars is that you can't jump through them with invincibility, so you still want to wait for them. I recommend waiting for them to go up before jumping past them, because if you mistime it and you jump up into them, then you won't take damage, but you'll run up. You'll hit them and then you'll fall into a pit, most likely, so you want to avoid doing that. But just simply avoid them and wait for the right time to go past them. And also with the flames, they'll push you up into the air if you have invincibility, you get hit by them. And also the rolling stones in 2 of the levels will do the same thing. So if those, I recommend skipping past them, waiting for the right time, then moving past them, instead of just blitzing through them with invincibility. There are also these wooden planks that you spin in order to move sideways, and then you can jump on them, but they'll move back up after a certain amount of time. And there are also boxes that you can bounce on, like with the torches, with the platforms with the flames on them, and you can hold down the jump button to go all the way up on them, or you can lightly tap the jump button in order to do a short hop. And here I take a shortcut through the back of the wall, jumping through the scenery in order to skip a lot of obstacles, which not only makes the level easier, but is also faster to go through the level that way. So it's not only good for getting through the level in a run where you're not trying to speedrun the level, but it's also good for speedruns as well. So I recommend taking that shortcut. And also it's good for 100% because there's no boxes in that section. There are also Venus flytraps here which attack you when you get close to them, so you want to spin them as you get close to them. There are also green platforms which act like conveyor belts. And during this section you'll want to use light jumps and then use a big jump on the last torch platform in order to make it through. Because if you use big jumps on all 3 of them, then you'll end up not making it in time. You'll just go slower and you'll end up getting hit by one of the torches at the end. So you want to use short hops when you make it through that section, except for the final platform. There are also monkeys there and during this next level. And with the monkeys you don't want to spin them because they'll move you back. And this will either make you fall into a pit, or water, or make you run into an obstacle. But here when they're rolling, you can move over and then try and jump on top of them and that'll get rid of them, or you can jump over them. Either way works. But I like jumping over on top of them here. That seems to be what works here. I haven't tried jumping over them entirely, although that could be an option in this level for getting by them. There are also Venus flytrap platforms here, which if they eat you, then they make you lose life instantly. There are also fish that jump out of the water that you want to watch out for as you make your way through. You could try using the spin attack on them, but I recommend just going ahead and avoiding them instead. And the lily pads will sink into the water after a certain amount of time when you stand on them. And the water will make you lose life instantly if you fall into it. And also there are Venus flytrap platforms which will try and swallow you if you land on them, so you want to jump off of them quickly. And there are also tree trunks like this that act like conveyor belts and push you down. And when there are parts like that, I recommend jumping up them in order to get up them faster. But don't go too fast because you might fall into the water or into a pit in the case of the conveyor belt like platforms on the native fortress level. This upcoming part can be tricky, but if you just jump immediately like I do now, then you'll make it every time. Next up is the second boss of the game, Ripperoo. And Ripperoo can be one of the more difficult bosses, relatively speaking. And to get by him, you have to activate the TNT crates, and then be away from them so they don't explode on you. And then, when you activate them, it takes a few seconds for them to explode. And you want to time it so that the TNT explodes on him, like so. And he hops in the same pattern every time. And you want to move like I do, so you want to move in the way like I do so that you'll be in safe places so he doesn't land on top of you. And that's how you get by the battle. So if you like this video, be sure to leave a like. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more videos. And this is Isaac, and I'll see you later.